Hi, I'm April. I am a singer-songwriter and music teacher, and this week I had a birthday, which means that I am completely full of both existential dread and nostalgia. So today I thought it would be really fun to completely embarrass myself on the internet by showing you a song I wrote when I was 17 years old. A little backstory before we get started. I wrote this song when I was 17 years old at summer camp. I am not actually playing the piano in this song because I actually wrote the song for guitar, and at this point in time, I didn't know how to play the piano yet. I will also say that this is, without a doubt, 100% my mom's favorite thing that I've ever written. So, hi Mom, I love you, you're perfect, and I'm really sorry that I'm about to tear this thing to shreds. Another thing to mention before we get started is that I haven't heard this song in like 7 or 8 years, so it's been a really long time, and I'm pretty sure the last time I heard this song I was being ambushed with it while in the car with one of my parents while I sank further and further into both my seat and the dark abyss of embarrassment. So I remember bits and pieces, but I have no idea what to expect as far as the quality of this song as a whole. So without further ado, here is Only a Dream by Teenage April.
It's okay to dream.
Oh god.
It's easy to do. Waking up is the hard part. You know it's true.
Okay, I'm gonna pause it right there. So I'm stopping it right there just to mention, first of all, that we're playing a really common chord progression. It's just F, C, G, and back to F. So it just kind of repeats like that so far. I don't know or remember if it does anything different later. But also, of all of the things that I remember about this song, I remember even at age 17 really hating this intro. It's okay to dream, it's easy to do. Waking up is the hard part, you know it's true. That's for you, Mom. And even now, I'm still finding this really cringy, and I think the reason is because the lyrics are so obvious. Like, this reminds me a lot of that Hilary Duff song where she sings, "If the light is off, then it isn't on." Like, yeah, we know the light is off, so it is not on. This is exactly the same thing to me. It's okay to dream. Now, at this point, I'm not completely sure if I'm talking about sleep dreaming or if I'm talking about, like, dreams and aspirations, though I think it makes the most sense if I'm kind of talking about both. But then I say the lyrics, it's easy to do. Waking up is the hard part. You know it's true. I think this could be made a lot better just by nixing these lyrics completely, frankly, because I just don't think they're super necessary, though I do really like the melody of this starting section. But yeah, the concept that dreaming is easy to do feels like just a little too saccharine or a little too weird to mention to me personally, but we will move on to the next part.
But you drag yourself out of bed, small details of the dream begin to creep out of your head.
So the thing I'm most irritated by and just like irked by is the fact that I'm kind of just trying to sing along to the piano, but it sounds like I don't really know exactly when to come in, so I'm just slightly off from where I need to be at a given time. I probably only recorded this in like one take, maybe. I also think my voice is just slightly off here, and I wish I had maybe prepared a little bit better when I went in to record this song.
You spend the whole day thinking about how real they seem, but at the end of the day, it was only a dream. It was only a dream.
First of all, I feel like I sound really hoarse here, and that is what a summer at summer camp will do to you. Obviously, there was a little bit of a piano flub there. We do not fault, though we love him. So I think, again, a lot of the issue here is that this was recorded really quickly, like in an hour-long session at summer camp. I will also say that I really like this melody so far. I don't think I would actually change the melody even a little bit, because I think it's really nice. And I think the concept of "it's only a dream" as my refrain line is really pretty, and I think it works.
He was there, you could swear.
Ooh, the chords
You
changed.
touched his arm, you kissed his lips, you stroked your hair with his fingertips. It was so real that you don't know how to feel. Now that you're awake and he's gone.
I love that whiny little "he's gone." I actually think I did a really good job in this verse painting the picture of what's happening. What I'm hearing is that this is a person who was in a relationship with someone, or I was 17, I was into someone probably. And the story here seems to be that the protagonist is really missing the other character and keeps having these dreams of them and then waking up and they're not really there. So kind of like slow dancing in a burning room.
You spend the whole day thinking about how real they seem, but at the end of the day, it was only a dream. It was only a dream. It was only a dream. The next night, you lie awake in bed. The room is swallowed in darkness. You see his face straight ahead, and you know that there's no way that he could possibly be real. But your heart races, 'cause the way that you feel is taking over you again.
So that was wordy. I don't think that the lyrics are necessarily bad, but I think that a problem in my early songwriting personally, just in general, was that I didn't know how to be concise in my music. So I think I would give myself points on clarity because I know exactly what I'm talking about at a given moment. But I also think that there are just too many words. And I think if I'm going to go in and edit this and change it up, what I'm going to want to do is scale back a lot of that language and see if I can make it just a little bit more concise.
Then he calls your name softly,
I think this is supposed to be a bridge, maybe?
and he gets louder and louder until you awake to your name being called, and you lie there for a moment, but you
I like that chord change. That was cool. I do overall really like what's happening musically here. I just wish we had had more time to prepare it. And I wish that I had just been a little bit clearer with what I actually wanted to happen at any given moment. Because it feels like my voice is trying to find the music, as opposed to the piano and my voice working together.
But at the end of the day, it was only a dream. It was only a dream. It was only a dream.
Okay. So that was only a dream. So from having listened to that, I see why my mom really likes it. I think there's a lot of good stuff happening. I think that the lyrics are really clear in their intent, and I think I had a lot of really good sense imagery. I also really like the melody, and I think the chord changes are really beautiful. So good job, Teenage April. You're on your way. You will be better one day, but for right now where you are, you're doing great. So now that you've heard this song that I wrote when I was 17 years old, how do we tweak it and just make it a better song overall? The criteria that I'm going to work with are the following. Number 1, clarity, getting rid of any unnecessary or repetitive words, and understanding what the plot is and what the point of the song is. Number 2, prosody. Does the music match with the message? And number 3, showing versus telling. Am I able to effectively immerse my listener in the world of the story? Okay, so I just paused the video so I could look for maybe a lyric sheet. Bingo! I found it right here, and it does actually have all of the chords written in, and I think I have a pretty good sense of what's gonna happen for all of these different sections, so this will be really fun. So something interesting right off the bat that I'm noticing is that I actually did cross out that intro in the beginning. So apparently, right after I wrote this, I decided that I didn't want to keep that part, which, part of me does agree with, and the other part of me is like, well, let's just change the lyrics and make it better. So let's work with that. I mentioned before that the thing I didn't like about this intro was that it was a little too obvious, but I think part of the problem is that I don't really know what I'm trying to get across. I don't think the clarity is really there. What I'm gonna do is maybe just figure out what still needs to be said, or what I need to introduce the concept of this song. So it seems to me that the main idea of this song is that I'm seeing someone in my mind's eye or in my dreams who I'm in love with or really into or something, and when I wake up, they're not there, and I'm sad about that. So I guess it's sort of about missing somebody. So I think the thing that I would want to introduce the whole song with is maybe this idea of opening your eyes and seeing that nobody's there. I think that would be a really nice starting point. So if I'm starting with these chords, ba-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da. Maybe something about how the dawn is creeping in and my eyes open and you're gone. The dawn arrives like a song. I open my eyes and you're already gone. Oh, I actually really like that. So what I've decided to change it to is the dawn arrives like a song. I open my eyes and then you're gone. Something I'm just realizing though is that I wrote the entire song in second person, which is kind of a choice that I'm not super certain I want to stick with, because I think when you are the person I'm talking to, it feels like the audience is directly in the action, which makes for a lot of intensity. You're kind of seeing things through their point of view, but maybe it also takes the protagonist out of things. You know what? I'm actually going to keep the yous. I'm going to keep the second person. So I'm actually going to change my intro a little bit to make it fit that second person a little better. The dawn arrives like a song. You open your eyes and he's gone. I think that actually fits really nicely, and it does have that same level of intensity without being quite so obvious and cringy. When it comes to the chorus of this song, I think you drag yourself out of bed, small details of the dream begin to creep out of your head. I think it works. I think there are too many words here, though. So I think getting rid of the word small in small details, because details are already going to be small. And I think I might also get rid of the word creep here, because creeping to me feels like, I don't know, creepy, like Halloween-y, whereas maybe the word drift might work better, because this is a dream we're talking about. It's something that's in one ear and maybe out the other. And I might also get rid of you drag yourself and just say drag yourself, because then it's I'm telling you to drag yourself out of bed, as opposed to just describing what you are physically doing in the moment. So in that case, it would go like this. Drag yourself out of bed, details of the dream drift out of your head. You spend the whole day thinking about how real they seem. Now here I say the words they seem. I'm gonna just change it to how real it seems, so that it's one dream as opposed to many. And I think the rest of it honestly works. Spend the whole day thinking about how real it seems. fingertips. But at the end of the day, it was only a dream. It was only... Ooh, only is a hard word to sing. Oh, I think I'm actually going to go down on the word only the second time instead of going up, because only feels really difficult to sing unless you're like cheesing really hard as you sing it. Only a dream. It was only a dream. That's a little better, right? It was only a dream. Now from here we have most of the song done, so all I need to do is pare down these verses. And from the criteria that I'm working from, I think I do a really, really good job of using sense imagery and making the listener feel like they're part of the story. You touched his arm, you kissed his lips. The problem with that, though, is, like, you say kissed his lip. You could just say you kissed him. I don't know. That feels a little iffy to me. He stroked your hair with his fingertips. That's really beautiful. That's such a tiny little detail that feels really evocative. It was so real that you don't know how to feel now that you're awake and he's gone. I think this is really clear. I think I know exactly what I'm saying here. I know exactly what the song is about. I think I just want to change a little bit here. I've also changed the chord progression at this moment to D, F, A minor, G, which is really nice, I think. Now right here, I'm going to take away the word real because I already said it was so real in the chorus, so I don't need to repeat that. I've already said it. It's not important to say that same thing exactly again. He was there, you could swear. You touched his arm and you kissed. He stroked your hair with his fingertips. I don't know if you could just hear that, but there was a car horn that was just exactly on key. It was beautiful. And now you don't know how to feel, 'cause you're awake and he's gone. Now I think at this point I can just go back into the chorus, and let's go on to that second verse, which is really long. I started by saying here that it's the next night, you're lying awake in bed. I like the room is swallowed in darkness. I think that's kind of nice imagery. You see his face straight ahead. You know that there's no way he could possibly be real, but your heart races because the way that you feel is taking over you again. That's a lot of lyrics. I think I'm going to have to So I think a lot of this I can just get rid of completely, but the things I want to keep are that the room is swallowed in darkness, but you see his face straight ahead. I also really like that your heart is racing. That's very visceral. It's nice. So what I'm going to do here is just get rid of the parts that I don't think are necessary. I don't think I need to say the next night you lie awake in bed, even though it does a good job to actually tell us where and when we are. I think that can kind of be assumed. See his face straight ahead as you lie awake in bed. The room is swallowed in darkness. So what I'm going to do is just leave it there because I think that says all that I need it to say. And then in the next part, I'm going to add that your heart is racing. So that'll be in the bridge part with the he calls your name softly, which I'm also probably going to change the melody for. I think the bridge is fine here. My biggest issue with it is that it's the same exact chord progression as the verse. So it just doesn't feel as intense as I want it to. Maybe I can change these chords a little bit and just make it a little bit more intense and a little bit more exciting. I also think it's a tiny bit redundant. So maybe we can get rid of some of these lines right at the end. Until you awake to your name being called and lie there for a moment. I like the concept of you lie there for a moment, like kind of going through what happened in the dream and hoping not to forget it, but I think there's probably a better way to say that. Since the bridge comes right after verse 2 rather than after the chorus, I could go ahead and just change where the bridge falls, but I actually don't mind it after the second verse. I think it's fine to hear something a little different at this point. Maybe if I use that F it'll just bring a little bit more of that intensity. So I'm going to start on F, then I'm going to go to G, then maybe A minor, so that it kind of builds a little bit. And I'm going to start on a higher note. So instead of, he calls your name softly, maybe I'll do, calls your name softly, and it gets louder, and he gets louder, calls your name softly, your heart starts racing, and then something else. He calls your name softly, your heart is racing, and when you wake, maybe it was only a dream. Only a dream. And then maybe back to the chorus? I don't know, but I am running out of time and I have to go teach right now, so let's leave it at that. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to leave a like. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Maybe tell me how old you think I am. I promise not to be offended, and just so you know, you're probably wrong. And of course, while you're here, be sure to subscribe and ring that little bell to be notified the next time I post.